So this video is directed at my new hams out there who are probably just licensed and they're learning about logging and awards and they want to get into it. But it can be a little overwhelming at first trying to figure out all the different systems and what you need to sign up for and how it all works. So this is just a broad overview of how to start chasing awards and how to start logging your contacts. So first things first, a QSO is a Q code that stands for or represents a two-way contact between two amateur radio operators in the ham radio world. So whenever you hear somebody saying QSO, that means just a two-way contact. The QSL is a confirmed contact or a system of confirming those contacts. So if you ever heard of a QSL card, it's just a card that amateur radio operators usually send to each other that contain various information about a contact that they made so that they can upload it to different systems and receive awards. So a QSL with ham radio can be either written or it can be digital, so analog or digital. So a long time ago, the main way to log your contacts was you would have a notebook or something like that beside your radio, and as you make contacts with people, you would write down their name, their call sign, their location, their names, the mode, the frequency, and all that information together would be put inside of a logbook. And whenever you talk over the air, you're able to go back to that logbook and see people's names and just have a good record of people you've contacted. These days, mostly we're digital, so there's mostly software that you can go into and you can log all your contacts, and that'll allow you to quickly search through the logbook and find specific contacts you've made with people, and also export those to online services where you can make contacts with other hams and confirm contacts over the internet. So amateur radio practice logging for a variety of reasons. So one is award chasing. So in order to receive an award, you have to have a confirmed two-way contact, which means you need to have proper logs. It's also to keep track of who you talk to. So if you're over the air and you can't remember somebody's name, but you know you talked with them before, you can refer to your logbook and then get their name and do it that way. And you can also help the FCC with investigations. So if the FCC have had reports of a certain call sign over the air that has been jamming or been disruptive somehow, well, you can help that individual out if it wasn't them by saying that you were talking to them at the time. But that's just one example. There's a ton of different reasons why the FCC might contact you for your logs. So it's good to have that in practice for yourself and for others. In order to make a confirmed contact, your logbook must contain several pieces of data for your contacts. So you need to have the UTC time of the contact, you need to have your frequency, the mode, your grid location, your power used, signal reports, date, and sometimes names. So most logging software is going to have spaces and blanks for all that for you to input it. And what will happen here is after you put after you log your contacts, if it's digital at that point, you just export that log onto different online services. And we're only going to talk about two of the most popular in this video because this is just broad. And that's going to be QRZ.com, and Log of the World, which is the service hosted by the ARRL. I use DXKeeper as my software. I'm not getting into the meat and potatoes on how to use logging software. I'm going to save that for another video. But personally, I've tried a few. I recommend DXKeeper because it makes everything super simple to export onto different online services. But it's a good idea to explore different logging software and just see which one fits your needs, which one works best for you, because everybody's going to have a different preference. But if anybody wants to let me know down below, comment which logbook you're using, because if there's something I haven't heard of, I'd like to try it out, and maybe some other people would too. So just comment down below what type of logging software you use. So it's a good idea to have a logbook for personal reasons, but in the ham radio world, there's a good chance that eventually you're going to get into award chasing, where that's going to be very critical. The logging holes go deeper the more you dig, so I'm not going to get way too far into the logging, but it's one of those deals where the more you research, the more questions you're going to have and the more stuff you're going to find out about it, and it almost never ends. So let's move on to the online QSL part. So once you have a logging software set up and you're logging your contacts, which you should be ideally from day one, it's a good idea. The next step that you would probably want to go to is to start uploading those logs to online services. It's not a requirement, but if you like to chase awards, you do need to do that. So there are several platforms that hams use to upload logs in order to confirm contacts with other hams. So like I said before, we're going to talk about the big two is QRZ.com and Log of the World. So QRZ.com is a website much like social media for hams. You have a profile that people can view, and you also have an online logbook. So you can go onto this website and sign up with your call sign, and you can actually go in and through the website enter your contacts and use that as your logbook. So you can either do that or you can export your logs with the different logging software and then upload the logbook directly to QRZ.com and upload your logs that way. So if you're making a lot of contacts, assuming maybe you're using digital mode like FT8, then you can actually just group all that stuff up and upload it all at once. Or you can go in and manually type it in. Whatever works best for you. I recommend trying both ways just to see how you feel about it. So QRZ actually has several awards to you can obtain. Some of them are the exact same as Log of the World, and some of them aren't available on Log of the World. So personally right now, for example, I'm going after the Worked All States Award. That's available on both platforms, but there's also a Worked All Continents, and that's available on QRZ, but it's not available on the Log of the World. So the way it works here is once you upload your log to either QRZ or Log of the World, the other ham that you're contacting must upload pretty much the same information. And once those two things happen, the system will automatically put those together, and as long as everything matches up, it will register as a confirmed contact in the system. So if you're using QRZ, you can go to the award page of your logbook, and you can see your progress to different awards. So yellow will be logs that you've submitted but the other party hasn't. Green will be confirmed contacts, and reds are ones that you haven't submitted at all. So once you've met the requirements, you can purchase the award from their website. I think it's between $12 and $35, somewhere in that range. But you can purchase the award from their website, and they'll ship to your house, and you can hang it on the wall. But let's move on to Log of the World, which is very similar. So like I said before, Log of the World is a service that is hosted by the AWRL. I think, in my opinion, that makes it a little bit more official, and I do think it's used a little bit more. The only drawback here is in order to receive your awards, you have to be a AWRL member. So you can chase the awards and you can get progress toward them, but if you want the certificates, you have to be a member. If you don't have a ton of money to dish out for ARRL every year, you can actually chase your awards, get your contacts, and once you know you made enough, then you can become a member for the year and purchase your certificates. If you're like me, I like to be cheap sometimes, and that's just what I got to do. So that is an option for you. I will say the sign-up process for Log of the World is a little bit more tedious than it is for QRZ, because they have some extra steps in there for verifications, and it does take, I think, maybe 1 to 2 weeks to actually get registered for it. But you can still upload all your logs that you've had prior to registration to Log of the World. So it does involve a software download on the computer with a registration certificate, and I believe they have to actually mail you in something, a code to use. They might do that over email now, but it's all manual, so sometimes it takes a few days. But the link for both of these websites and a guide to getting started registering with Log of the World will be down below. Once you are registered, you pretty much have the ability to upload your logbooks just like you would with QRZ. The only difference is these aren't public, and you can't go in and manually enter the log over the website. You have to upload a log file from a software. But in the end, it works the same way. You upload your logs and the other party uploads their logs, and as long as the information matches, you'll have a QSL in the system or a confirmed contact. Logging contacts is a long-term tradition of ham radio operators, and it's a practice that's important to the hobby and important to other people. So continue logging, and if you're new, and just getting started. It's fun practice because you get to go back and see all the people you've contacted. There's different softwares to see all the states and all the countries, and this is a really cool way for you to go back and see your progress over time and also get some cool awards down the road. Now this has been a really broad overview video because this subject gets really deep once you get into different subjects, once you get into the subsubjects. So this is going to be a broad video. In the future, I'm going to do a video all about QSL cards, a video all about logging software, a video all about signing up for the Log of the World. So I hope this maybe can get you started, because when I was new and starting, logging was a little confusing to me because there was just so many different platforms and I didn't know which one to use, and I didn't quite understand how it works, and there wasn't many video resources at the time that just gave you a broad overview of logging and award chasing. So I hope this can get you started, and if you liked the video, make sure you please subscribe and comment down below if you have a preference in logging software. I would love to know. And thank you everybody for watching, and 73 to you.